This is a video about chapter 4 from your textbook, Poogle. This is the increasing cost case. And these are PPFs, again, production possibility frontiers. And by now you're probably used to the constant cost production possibility frontiers with their linear appearance. They have a constant slope. And these ones probably look a lot more like the ones you saw in Principles of Microeconomics. And knowing that the slope of a production possibility frontier, the absolute slope, is the opportunity cost of the good on the horizontal axis, should alert you to the fact that since these curves have a varying slope, they're not constant cost slopes, that must mean that the costs of production vary depending on how much of the good is being produced. And that's what we mean when we say this is an increasing cost production possibility frontier. Now, we don't use calculus in this class, so what you will find is that the book and then also I will just tell you what the slope of a tangent at a particular point is. And a tangent is a line that just touches a line that has a variable slope. And if you can use a tangent to find a slope at a particular point. But we in the book and also when I talk about this, we just give you these slopes. We don't give you a method for calculating them. So I will give you a couple of slopes. The opportunity cost of cloth is the absolute slope. So let's say the slope here is 1, and then at this point rise over run for the tangent, we'll take the absolute slope. Let's say the slope here is 4. What we are saying is that, say at point A, the opportunity cost of cloth in terms of wheat is that 1 cloth will cost us 1 wheat, and that at point B, the opportunity cost of cloth in terms of wheat is that 1 cloth will cost us 4 wheat. So this is what we mean by increasing costs. Increasing costs refer to the fact that the more of something we make, the more costly it is in terms of the foregone alternative. So as production rises, so does cost. And the usual explanation for this, and you may remember this from Principles of Microeconomics, is that we live in a world of specialized factors. And a factor can be either specialized in the cloth industry, it could be a particular type of labor that's good at working with cloth, or it could be that there's a certain type of land that's better for growing cotton or something like that. Specialized factors mean that as we expand production of cloth, we start out using the factors of production that are most useful in the cloth industry, maybe the ones that are best suited. But as we if we move along the PPF and we increase our production of cloth more and more, we start to have to drag factors into the cloth industry that maybe would be better suited for producing wheat. So specialized factors, again, another difference with the constant cost case is unlike the constant cost case where we just had that units of labor, where there just was one type of factor, and it could be moved easily from one industry to the other, and there wasn't any problem with degree of specialization of the factor in the two industries. So this is interesting too. So we said that you may have looked at that demand video, the indifference curve video from Khan Academy that I suggested that you look at if you want to, or you can just simply accept that an indifference curve tells us the preferences of the two countries. But demand conditions matter because we know if there's a basis for trade, depending on whether opportunity costs differ. They help, but in this world, where which point we pick on the PPF matters in terms of determining what opportunity cost is, we have to know something about demand conditions to know which country has the lower opportunity cost of a particular good. So just to clarify that, if in this country, let's make this, say, the USA, and we can make this the UK. If the USA was picking point A, that would say that cloth had an opportunity cost of 1 wheat, and if they were picking B, that would say that cloth had an opportunity cost of 4 wheat, and whether they should be the cloth exporter or the wheat exporter would depend on the relative size of opportunity cost. So we can't really say whether the US should be the wheat exporter or the cloth exporter until we can compare the opportunity cost in the, we have to pick the point first in order to determine opportunity cost before we can say which country is the exporter. So that's actually an interesting complication of the increasing cost case, that the demand conditions become more important, and we need them to determine opportunity cost before we can say who should trade what to whom.